this rivalry, when you guys face the Islanders or the Devils or a team like that, is there extra emotion that you can feel around the room, the guys getting up for these games a little bit more?
Well, I think there's always a lot of history with Islanders Rangers. Is long before I got here, this battle's gone on for a long time, and I definitely think the guys feel that. Other teams as well. Division games, I think, always strike more of a spark in the day, and so yeah, I would agree with that.
How do you channel, I guess, the emotion of a game like this while also wanting your guys to be disciplined? I know that was a takeaway from last game, just the excitement of a game like this, all of the emotion that comes with it, but also still sticking to your structure, playing your games and channeling
Yeah,
that.
I think, I always think once the puck drops, that you get back to being just hockey, and then there's a lot of things that have to go, that you have to do well in order to be successful. Discipline's obviously one of them, but there's a lot of things you got to do to be successful. So I think sometimes there's more of a build-up to a game, but when the puck drops, I always find it just eventually 5 minutes in, 10 minutes in, it goes back to being hockey. And so that does factor into it. Discipline always factors into it. So.
You might have touched on this. Jimmy in today?
Yes.
Jimmy's in
Yeah.
today. He hasn't played yet. Obviously a limited camp.
Yeah.
What are you looking for from a guy who's just coming in?
Well, you're right. It's he's catching a train that's moving a little bit, but he's looked really good in practice. He's been skating hard now for a few weeks, and he's been practicing hard for a week or so, and he's ready to come back in. He came into camp in great shape. He looked good, before it happened, and got through it. And like I said, he's been practicing hard, so he's gonna come in. He'll give us some good minutes.
Do you expect him to go right back on the PK? I know he has a lot of experience there.
Yeah, we'll see how that goes. We'll see how that goes.
What have you thought about Cooley in that role? Because this was his first stretch.
Yeah, he's doing a good job. There's learning. There's a lot of teaching that goes on, a lot of learning, especially for a young player. But I do think it's, like I've said before, he's a pretty smart defensive player. I think that there's definitely a role for him to be had there if he continues to work at it. He's done a good job so far.
Do you want it to always be like the same, let's say 6 guys, or are you open to rotating and feel like they're more?
Well, it just gets difficult once you start stretching to 8 guys or 9 guys, and for forwards, and there's just so many players, and so you want the players out there that, one, you feel are good at it, and 2, they take pride in that role. They want to be successful at it, and it's hard to get too many people involved, but it's nice to have penalty killers.
Peter, the last couple of games, obviously, a lot of shots against.
Yeah.
Been defending a lot. You made
Yeah.
changes yesterday in practice as a result. What have you seen? Like, what's been the struggle? Has it been getting it out of the zone? Has it been turnovers? Has it been?
For me, I think we've turned the puck over a little bit. I think our structure's been off a little bit. I don't think that we've maintained a presence in the offensive zone. I don't think that we've been down there pounding in the offensive zone and generating. That alone takes care of some defense, right? If you're down in the offensive zone, you're removing minutes from the defensive zone and putting it into the offensive zone. So I think our offensive zone play can be better, and then from there, I think we can set ourselves better up. We can set ourselves up better as we come out, as we go through the neutral zone with what we do with the puck and where we put it, and then the structure of how we, get it back if we do put it behind them. So there's just different things that we've been talking about to try and get better in that area.
Peter, in talking to Mika yesterday, one of the things that he said is that, he's been thinking too much defense. And there are times even when he has the puck and he's thinking defense, well, if we turn it over, I got to get back and this kind of stuff. Have you noticed that from him? Is there a tentativeness with which he's been playing, or what have you seen?
Yeah, we've had a lot of conversations, and I think he's a smart defensive player. I think he's a really solid two-way player, and I think he's right with his conversation. We've had those conversations that he's a great offensive player too, and sometimes you gotta let that go a little bit, and you gotta start thinking about the offense. And I definitely think he's capable of that. He's an elite talent, and so we've got to find a way to get him thinking that way in his mind, that he's going to go on the attack. And he wants to be, like I said, a good, responsible two-way player, a good defender. And I think he can be both. I think he can be both. I think he's very good at both situations. And so I think it's just a matter of his mind saying, okay, I'm going to push a little bit more. I'm going to go a little bit more.
Is that why you put him with Panarin and Lapp? yesterday, maybe?
No, not necessarily. I mean, I do, I'm hopeful it'll be a productive line, but for me, it was more of a team thing. You know, three of the last 4 games, I mentioned it. I don't think it's just been real sharp for us, and just give it a change. Like I said, I don't know if it's a permanent thing or not, but we got a chance to practice with those lines yesterday and move things around, and we'll take a look at it today.
Yeah, those guys move offense, they push offense.
Yeah, well, for sure they do, but I think Mika will fit right in with that, yeah.
All right. Despite the offensive and defensive zone time that you just referred to, how satisfying, despite that, after 10 games, you have 7 wins? How satisfying is that?
Yeah, I mean, listen, wins are wins, right? We're in the business of winning, and so there's a lot of good things that we've done. There's, we go right to the 3 games where we didn't play that well, and so, man, we got to be better. And they're recent too. They're more current, and so the wins are great. I think that's part of it. But also at this point in the season, and as you're playing games, you want to make sure your game is justified as well. And so that's where we're trying to get better. I thought we were playing pretty good hockey. Last few games have just, not been to where we expect them to be or where we want them to be. And some of that is, I think, controlling the offensive zone and controlling the puck and dictating more of the play. When we get better at that, then we'll also get better defensively. So,
Igor,
yeah,
right?
yeah.